Hey out there, it's Sam here again, and today I have another Overwatch guide for you. I've got some tips and tricks on how to use the character Reinhardt. Now, every good team needs a good tank. Now, a tank is generally a character where they direct the enemy attack or direct the enemy attention towards themselves. And Reinhardt's very much in that category. Reinhardt's equipped with a massive shield and hammer. The shield, as you can see here, takes a lot of attention and blocks a lot of damage from the enemy team. His attacks and his gear is simple enough that I would recommend him as a character for any beginner in Overwatch. So to start us off, let's have a look at Reinhardt's weapons and abilities. So Reinhardt is a melee character and his main weapon is his rocket hammer. So the rocket hammer has a fairly good reach when you're up close, but what Reinhardt's probably better known for is his barrier field, or this big massive shield that I'm opening up here. So when the shield is active, Reinhardt moves slower and he can't actually attack, but he does provide the team with plenty of cover for them to fire at the enemy behind. Reinhardt's two abilities are Charge and Fire Strike. Now Charge, Reinhardt charges forward in a straight line, pinning an enemy in his path and knocking other enemies aside. If Reinhardt has pinned an enemy against him and hits a wall, that does significant damage to the enemy. With Fire Strike, Reinhardt whips his rocket hammer forward and sends a flaming projectile which does damage to enemies it touches. And finally, Reinhardt's ultimate ability is Earth Shatter. Now Reinhardt slams his hammer onto the ground, knocking down and damaging enemies that are in front of him. Now, what are some tips for using Reinhardt? Firstly, I'd have to suggest you make sure that you have a good team makeup. You don't want to be Reinhardt if you've got characters in your team or team members who aren't suited to sitting behind him. So if you've got teammates who are using characters like Genji or Tracer or Reaper who are meant to be behind enemy lines, flanking, they're quick, they're fast, they're not well suited to sitting behind Reinhardt's shield. So you've got to make sure that you've got good characters in your teammates, someone like Soldier 76 or like Bastion who can turn into a turret and you can protect him while he's in that mode. My next tip would have to be for the charge ability. So I just used it there, and what you want to ideally do is use it on a singled out character, so someone who's away from the rest of the team. That is because you are quite vulnerable when you're charging, and you don't want to be stuck and caught out and attacked from behind by another character. My next tip isn't really something I would always recommend. It's a bit of a cheap one, but like I said before, Reinhardt's really good with characters like Bastion, who can set up as a turret. Also, Torbjorn's turrets as well. So on a payload map like this, if you're attacking, what often will happen is you'll see someone put a turret down on the payload, or sit down as Bastion on the payload, and they'll have a Reinhardt shield in front of them to protect them from the enemy fire. Also with Reinhardt, don't push too far up on your own. Like you'll see in that clip there and this one here, essentially Reinhardt is still quite a big, easy target, especially from behind. So when that enemy gets behind you, like when a Reaper or a Genji gets behind you, your back is actually still quite a large target and you will get taken down. My last tip would have to be one for when you're playing with a teammate who's playing Reinhardt. So you're not playing Reinhardt, but you're a character who is sitting behind his shield, you want to keep an eye on Reinhardt's shield when you're behind it for cracks. Cracks on the shield is what is going to tell you if your teammate isn't talking. The cracks on the shield are going to tell you when you're going to need to leave his shield and find some other cover, because that's an indication of when his shield is about to run out. Overall, guys, Reinhardt is a easy to use character and great for beginners. I'd highly recommend him. So thanks again for watching another one of my videos. If you're interested, please do subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.